Any more contributions? So we put the question. Are we ready for the question? Are we ready? Those in support of this request of Mr. President as amended should say aye. Aye! Those in support of this, those against should say nay. There is have it. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to you, our viewers. You just watched what came up earlier this morning, and that was the Green Chamber, the House of Representatives, where Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas was, was having a sitting with his members, the members of the House of Representatives. The president needed a two-thirds to affirm his decision to bring about a state of emergency in Rivers State. Remember that was done a couple of days ago, but he needed National Assembly support, and he needed a two-thirds from both houses, the Senate and the House of Reps. Just a few moments ago, the Senate equally supported that decision of the president, and you saw it there yourself. The Green Chamber own and the Red Chamber own, both has been done, and that means that the decision of the president has come into being. Governor Fubara stops being governor of Rivers State at the moment because of the suspension announced by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2 days ago. With this, I welcome you to the roundtable for this episode. To the roundtable for this week. This episode of For the Week is up and running. My name is Shegun Odvar. I have two individuals with me here in the studios. To my right, I have Mr. Dickling Aliu. His glasses as well here, no tie, but he's ready to get to the crux of the matter in a couple of minutes from now. And to my left, I have with me Mr. Chukwudi Akasike, one of our bosses here in the house. And together we'll be having an interesting period this afternoon. Where else to begin with? But with the latest updates in town, it happened like a joke just a couple of days ago, and right now the decision has made everyone almost an analyst, a political analyst on the streets of Nigeria. The president came up and said that for some reasons, being that the governor did not listen to the decision, or should I say the suggestion that was made in the villa when a meeting was held with the representatives of the River State of Assembly, the minister of Abuja, the FCT minister, and a couple of other river stakeholders, and the governor did not go with that agreement and decided to go against that agreement that was made in the villa. And also due to the several issues that had come up, I had taken the decision to bring about a state of emergency. And I will be starting with Mr. Aliu. A state of emergency in Rivers State. Nobody saw that coming. Many persons have said that was too soft. Many persons are saying that the president was supporting his minister. Many persons are saying that the governor was slapped while the minister was hugged. And a lot of persons have said that in the nearest future, perhaps when another president comes on board, a similar decision can be taken, especially when people think it's soft. In some states where you think, oh no, it's not as big as this yet. What's your take about this entire matter?
I think the president had did a very good job stepping his foot on the ground and look, this case must stop now. In the sense that if he hadn't done that, imagine if Fubara had won the Supreme Court's judgment. What do you think he would have done? He would have sacked the hourly people, that chased them out of the legislative quarters. But thank God he didn't win. The other side won. So they too were trying to impeach him. He should come to something like representative suspension now. Yes, because if he had not been suspended, those guys, the hourly lawmakers, will impeach him in the long run, because it's a war that was going to get to that level. Because you remember, they called that once that Fubara once said, look, these guys were existing because I made them to exist.
Yeah.
So he tells you that Fubara has drawn the line. And that was why they had to go to all the way to Supreme Court.
Okay, do you agree with his decision? Do you think that the president should have made that decision? Was the president not beating a child with a whip rather than just admonish the child?
In answering your question, I will look at it from the prism of the Constitution. There is no doubt that the power of the president to declare a state of emergency, he has it.
But was that necessary at this point?
But whether it is necessary, it is the Constitution that will determine it. if the president did not follow the constitution, because that is what the people in the entire Nigeria is debating now. If he did not follow
the constitutionally right for him to set aside the governor.
The governor, people are debating it. If the constitution does not support what he did, that means something is wrong. He should.
But does the constitution support him setting aside the governor?
I do. It was supported. It was a fact. The
305 subsection C.
Yes, as much as we all quote that section, which the president quotes to suspend him, we also quote. Some people are quoting that same subsection to say he was wrong. Let us all go back to the court and do the analysis. But this is it. It is not specific as to what should be done. So because this is what the president wants to do. He has done it.
He has the right. But
what means that the constitution backs him up to do it.
The constitution backs him up to do it, but suspending the governor,
yes,
it is not written in the constitution. And you know what the constitution is? While I was in school, they told me that constitution is a fixed rule, customs and principle by which a country is governed. When something is fixed, you don't remove, you don't add. If,
follow through.
As it is, if the president has added something, I believe that he should reconsider it and see where he can make amends.
So why we discuss this like this, we also look when there's a state of emergency. What are the things that the president is supposed to do in the state of emergency? It's not stated.
Help.
So it's not suspension or no suspension, sack or no sack. It's not stated. It's silent on that. So the president has used his wisdom to say, okay, so let's suspend this guy. Yes, for now, while we wait for them to sort their house out.
What about a situation
according to the Supreme Court, there was no government in that state.
But
we have the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And whereby you can't present budget, you're spending money on your own, there's no accountability.
But was the president not meant to say, okay, take 10,000 military men, go and settle the disputes, let there be peace, wherever, I mean, those individuals who are bombing the pipeline.
We've gone for 2 years, 18 months plus. The president has given them room to ameliorate, to make things better for themselves, but they have refused.
But the people are saying, some of the people in Rivers State are saying that the president is biased.
How can the president be biased when you see what's on the ground? Now, you're not saying who is the battle between? The battle is between the legislature and the executive.
Couldn't the president have gone about his state of emergency without setting aside the governor? As it was not stated in the constitution, if the governor was meant to be set aside, removed, suspended.
So for now, he had done that. So what does he want? What does the president want to achieve? So that there will be no anarchy. And it's, you see, we had 2 bombing that same day. We don't know what the level of that thing can grow to.
I don't support bombing. I don't support bombing. But the argument is that the decision of the president, we add petrol to the burning fire.
We wait to see that.
The decision will not bring peace. Rather, it will worsen the situation.
I beg to disagree. This is what will need. Now,
do you think the president was siding with his minister? Because some persons have come out with that narrative that, okay, if you are having issues with Fubara and you are saying, okay, things are not in order, you set him aside, you suspend him. What about your minister, your appointee? Do you think a similar treatment should have been given to the minister?
Of course, it wouldn't be nice to say the minister should be sacked because, one, he is not directly involved. This time we are looking at the legislature and the executive. So the two parties, though the legislature is somehow being supported by the minister, but the president, in looking at the two parties, I don't think there is anything wrong there.
Okay, so
he cannot go out of his way to remove.
Wike is very innocent in this case.
Yes.
Okay.
Wike is innocent.
Very innocent.
Very innocent.
He has been having,
because you might call him the hand officer or whatever, but he's been innocent here. What is the bone of contention between presenting budget to the legislature and the legislature ratifying the budget? Just the two houses are supposed to sit down and make things easy for him as a governor, and he refuses.
Who refused?
The governor is refusing.
Before now, the governor went to present a budget.
Before now, the governor has insisted in presenting budget to just how many people?
Yeah, 4.
And the Supreme Court has ruled, against the governor's action. And the governor,
it tells you before all that he has insisted that they were existing based on his allowing them to exist. he could have stopped that thing long ago.
Some persons
But
have
ordinarily,
because
if
it
they
was
had,
not-
if
it
the
was not
lawmakers had
advised
allowed,
by some legal luminaries
Hold
that
on.
don't know their work.
hold on,
okay.
if the lawmakers had allowed the president, the governor, to enter there and present his budget, there wouldn't have been any talk of
But
emergency
the
room.
lawmakers said
So
the
if
governor
the-
did
if-
not write to them.
If the
It was
governor too had
SSG
done
that
things
wrote to
appropriately,
them.
maybe they
Do you
could
think
have.
the governor was wrong in that aspect?
In the last, in our last, I said it that these people have always made. This is not the first time of presenting budget.
Yeah.
They know the procedure and they've been following that procedure. Why is this one difficult? So the actions of the lawmakers, wasn't the matter too. They should have received that letter.
Okay. Do you think the actions of President Tinubu is a blessing to Governor Fubara in disguise? Because if he had been impeached, that was the end. But there's a possibility of a truce being reached even before 6 months. So do you think this is a blessing in disguise, or do you think it's autocratic behavior hiding under democracy?
Earlier, I said that it's just like killing a fly. That the decision of what would I call it, the president. It's not like killing a fly with a sledgehammer. They shouldn't have removed the governor. There is a way these people can meet again and resolve all issues. As I told you, not allowing the governor to come in was a recipe for more violence. It was a recipe for more violence. And the blowing of pipeline too, it was another sign that things may go worse. Somehow, if you look at the decision of the president, it was okay, but he went too far in removing the governor and removing the National Assembly. People are already calling it an affront to democracy.
I recall also that some people
Do
were saying that.
you think the actions of the governor, now looking at the whole thing holistically now, today the 20th of March, was a rookie behavior? Some of his actions were tantamount to being
in politics, there are so many things you can do. But when you get to this level, I think they didn't see the hand that, look, the president is going to lift this kind of armor. They least expect that it was going to be a suspension. So they thought they had the battles between them and they will fight this battle for the next 4 years. That was their thought. But you see, when you start seeing bombing and you begin to calculate, you also remember there was a destruction at the assembly one time. That the governor had to go and say he had to destroy the assembly complex, saying that because it was bombed, he was looking at the infrastructure. There are some things, allegations against the governor too. So for me, I think the governor was saved. Fubara was saved by the suspension, and that he also was a little bit not showing professionalism. He's a baby politician. He didn't play it well. He could have been just be a little bit loyal to the guys and study the book. But again, when you are in politics, there's a lot of people advising you left and right, pushing you there, either for their own benefit or for whatever benefit. So it depends on where you tilt to. Somebody said he was tilting to some people, those who did not want him to be governor when Wike was there. He was now tilting towards them. And he was moving the boys. In this big game of politics in the state, there are some people that are fundamental to your coming as a governor. So he's coming as a governor too. Is he going to carry that machinery along, or is he going to jettison that machinery and create his own machinery? So he's torn in between that. So you are not carrying the traditional machinery along. So those traditional machinery will work against you. So now you're growing your new machinery. If they are not strong enough, you are going to get into trouble. And I think that's where he got into trouble.
But let me tell you, in our last program, I said it that the way our leaders emerge, is not what democracy is all about. This godfatherism, it will always backfire. And that is what we are seeing today. The way Fubara emerged, it was wicked that, let's use the word single-handedly. And the fact is that if I single-handedly deliver a person as a governor, I can also single-handedly remove him. And that is what is playing out. So that is why we say, let the people be 100% involved in the election of their leader, not godfatherism. The moment he comes in,
without some people supporting an individual to become governor, without some people financing you, without some people putting their necks down for so person.
There are limits to all this. At the end of the day, it should be the people that will determine who becomes their leader. And in doing so, the people must not be silenced or hoodwinked in any way.
Do you think the governor made a mistake along the line before falling into this mess, this big mess of state of emergency in the state, no powers for him, no His Excellency, no perhaps no DSS protection, cars taken away, and I'm so sure he wouldn't be living in government house because they said you've not seen him there 2 days now. All of this.
In all that, calculating how to survive, trying to see how to survive. I'm putting myself in the shoes of the governor now. Trying to see how to survive is difficult because one, the way he emerged, he was, a godson to a very powerful person. His commissioners were, let's say, 90% of his commissioners were not with him. 90% of the House of Assembly members were not with him. So how will such a governor survive? The only thing that would have made Fubara to survive is to take all instructions, hook, line, and sinker, not minding how it affects Rivers people.
Or he could have cut a deal with Amewule himself.
So would there be any? Would there be any?
When you are cutting a deal with Amewule, who is Amewule?
Cutting a deal with.
You have to cut a deal with the person Amewule is cutting deal with. So, and the person that's the Babaloke. The Babaloke is the minister.
This will make me to ask a question. You worked with the man for 8 years, and he made you governor. Would there be any new instruction
that you are not used to?
That you are not used to.
Okay, now a lot
That's
of
the question.
have come out on this section 305 matter.
Yes.
And people are saying, yes, you have the powers as the president to ask for a state of emergency. Yes. That is within your purview. As the president, you have those powers, but you do not have those powers to remove. Because in the first place, you didn't put him there. And they were also saying that can a governor, because he's angry with a local government chairman, remove a local government chairman after the same constitution has given us separation of powers, after the same constitution has told us this is your duty as the legislature, this is your duty as the executive, this is your duty as the judiciary.
Yes, we have seen situations where governors remove a local government chairman because the constitution needs amendment in that area.
Even like that is not constitutional.
This section 305, there are lacunas. Yes, so you can't just leave it bare like that. There should be specifics where you say yes, remove the governor. When our Obasanjo did his own, when Jonathan did his own, he didn't remove the governor. You understand? He didn't remove the governor. Now the president is removing the governor, and that has become a center of a debate. So what they should do, what Nigerians should push for, is an amendment of that constitution in that area, so that there won't be all this back and forth argument.
Now, according to the constitution, the governor is allowed to go to court within the first 10 days of a state of emergency in the states. Nobody has actually taken any president to court. No governor has actually taken any president to court. During Obasanjo days, the likes of Fayoshi ran away, reportedly inside the boot of a car, and so on and so forth. So many examples like that. Nobody has actually said, I'm going to take the president to court in the first 10 days. Do you think this system or this unwritten constitution, unwritten law, unwritten system is going to be broken by Sim Fubara?
I see a lot of litigation.
You should even go to court
and
prove.
I foresee a lot of litigation coming against the president on this issue. And I would love to see those things go to court and we get another interpretation.
But do you think Governor Simi... I think
it's a suspended governor. In the next 6 months, if the president see that okay, things are working well, things are going to realign with these people, say he can take off his hand. And if not, again, we can extend the suspension one.
What if the president keeps extending? Some persons are saying that the president wants to take Rivers State. Some persons, and that he will keep extending the former military man who is in power now, and another 6 months, and it's just 2 years away. So anything is possible.
From the court issue, I want to tell you that some people are not confident in the court again, because sometimes they come out with a judgment that does not go in line with what the constitution says. We saw what happened in Imo State. We saw what happened.
There was a constitutional backing to that, according to the judgment that was.
Most of them, we would want them to judge it this way, and they go the way they are not daft. I think we should understand that these people are not fools. We make our position, our own statement based on what we feel. They sit on the hot table and take some of these decisions. Some of these decisions are not just taken by 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 3 + 3, give you 6. It's taken on psychology, on the peace, on nationhood, on progress, and so forth. So they look at a lot of results. Sometimes I don't.
But don't forget that. Don't forget that we have the philosophy. We have the philosophy of conclusion. Yeah. When first premise plus second premise,
and then you conclude together.
It's commonsensical. It's logic.
Take logic. Take for instance
how can somebody that came forth, you now make the person governor?
But
what kind of judgment is that?
there was a judgment to that effect. All right, we have to move on to the next topic now. A couple of days ago, a core member in Lagos attracted so much support, as the case may be, and criticism in some aspects. Her name Ushi Ugwuamaye, popularly known as Rai. And she came up as a core member and did a video where she was talking about the fact that Lagos is stinky and that the whole place is bad. But that aside, she was also complaining about the fact that the minimum wage, which was supposed to be paid to core members, had not been implemented, and that she was still earning a paltry 33,000 naira, and saying that the state of the Nigerian economy does not allow a core member flourish with 33,000 naira. She was really complaining, and she equally attacked the president in her comments. Now, some persons have come out to say she was right to have done so. She was told to report at LGI's office on Monday. Comrade Omoyele Sowore and a couple of lawyers were with her on the said day, but according to reports, the LGI was nowhere to be found. Opposition leader Atika Abubakar and also former vice president of the country came up and supported her, castigating the state of the economy and the way things have become. And some other persons supported her, while some persons said, according to the NYSC bylaws, she wasn't meant to do anything of such. This became a really big issue, for the Fubara matter. This was perhaps the most trending topic in the Nigerian socio-political space in the last couple of days, in this week. What's your opinion about what she did? Was she right? Does her human rights fall above or under the NYSC bylaws?
No, she didn't do anything wrong. The only thing that was wrong was her being threatened to pull that thing down. And that was what got people angry at. Who is threatening her for saying what she's saying? Freedom of speech to a level, okay. But threatening her to pull it down, I think the person that did that, maybe CLO or whatever, is wrong. If everything is by the book, if she's going to end a query, give her a query by the book. Let it be by the books. Not call her and threaten her. She posted that in online and said, they are even threatening me. And I went, you can't be threatening her. If she had done anything wrong, she's a government worker, she's serving the government, file her the query and let her see what she has done wrong and let her reply and state, and you go by the books. What does the bylaw of this constitution say about this? State it for her and put it in her file.
Was she right to have made that video as a core member? I'm guessing,
as a core member, I believe that she shouldn't have come out public. She would have somehow written to the authorities. But as a Nigerian, you are first a Nigerian before becoming a core member. As a Nigerian, the worst thing that can happen to a Nigerian, which we are, some of us, like indulging in, is to keep silence while suffering injustice. So what she did, immediately I watched that video, I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed of myself, and somehow I took solace in the fact that I belong to a place where I'm also guided by law. So, because ordinarily, if you are an activist,
you want to solicit,
you will want
support.
to definitely will support that lady. How can you go to market if something you buy for 800 naira is now 6,500? How will you survive? And the what will I call it? The alawi is still there, and this thing was supposed to be paid by last July or what will I call it, August. Till this moment, they've not paid it. That is still 33,000. That's a kind of shortcoming on the part of the NYSC. Ordinarily, when that thing came out, the presidency should query the NYSC immediately. But for not paying the money,
but even the federal government themselves have just started paying.
That's why I've said we lack people with wisdom in leadership positions. I said it the last time. You see, something happens, they don't know how to manage it, they worsen it. They won't know that they worsen it. Look at the woman calling that lady. Ordinarily, she ought not to have called her.
At all.
She worsened the situation. Ordinarily, what they should have done is call the lady. Then somehow, somebody should be queried.
It should be official.
Somebody
Yes,
should be
so people are
queried
going, yes.
for the fact that the emolument has not been paid.
So
The increment has not been effected.
The lady should be queried and she should reply. See, it should go like that, on and on and on.
The lady
from
should,
the top.
yes.
Let the paper keep coming out till they get to her. And
Some people should be queried.
So that we can.
What can 33,000 naira buy in today's
She
Nigeria?
has just told the federal government and the people that look, this suffering people are going through is harder, not as you think upstairs. Downstairs is becoming difficult.
Difficult.
That's what she has just said, and
Yes.
you can't gaga for that.
So for
she
her
has
to
not
have
done
it-
anything wrong for me. She's right. No. See, people have said worse thing than what
that.
she said against the president. That's no offense about that. They will say more. It doesn't bother the man ruling. He doesn't care. All he wants to do is get the country to where his dream and aspiration he wants to get the country to. And we hope we can get there. We hope it will bring us to Uhuru. But while we're getting there, we will die. So while the lady will do all the complete, because she just even came into Lagos. Maybe this is her first trip to Lagos.
Yes.
She was saying Lagos was smelling.
But she said she just, 2020.
Are some parts of Lagos not smelling? Have you been to Bega and Maitu, between Bega and Maitu, going down to Coconut? Go and see what exactly is happening there. You would not want to go there. So she has not said anything new. It's just that she
I
been
said
threatened for saying
I
it.
was ashamed when that lady was saying that. Out of 200 million Nigerians, only one copper came out.
No.
talk.
People have been saying it.
People are afraid.
No, people
are afraid to talk.
No.
The fact is that
She was joining
when
it.
Fela sang Suffering and Smiling, we are still doing it.
In 2025.
So this that is 6,005. Let it be 1 million tomorrow. Nigerians will still not talk. They will still move like sheep. Nobody will want to. Nobody.
We are
don't
talking.
talk.
Do you support
They don't
the fact
talk,
that
and that is why things are getting bad.
No, we are talking. I don't
you-
understand.
How can you say you flog a child and tell the child not to cry? That lady is crying.
She's crying
because
That's what
she's
I'm
being
saying.
flogged.
And others are crying also. People are crying.
33,000
There are
naira
people
in
that are
today's
crying,
Nigeria.
Sharia are crying. See, there's a lot of people crying. It's just that this one got the popularity because of the threat she got. If she had not gotten any threat from her bosses or from those who are CLOs, no.
I disagree with
do we need
you.
more-
I disagree with you. There was a place he talked about the president being terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Me, of course, I wouldn't have carried my activism to up to
Okay,
that level.
Okay, so she
Yeah,
should
People,
have spoken
some
out-
people believe it
out-
is
I'm
president.
not. No.
Some people believe
I believe she said that out of anger, calling the president terrible. If the president is terrible, I have not.
You're not saying anything.
I've not
So,
measured.
the
I've
question-
not. I've not calibrated or measured
that
it
level.
Or you
to
can
that
talk about the
level.
state of the economy.
The state of the economy, but I believe out of anger, she went overboard. By
So let's look at where she's
Maybe
coming from.
so-
She came from Calabar
yeah.
to Lagos, isn't it? Now, so compare the life in Calabar and the life in Lagos. It's going to be like that.
different.
It's going to be very,
Yes,
very
yes.
much taxing.
Of course.
Probably she's even staying somewhere in Lekki. I don't know.
Yes.
Let's even say, okay, she's coming back, staying somewhere in Lekki, and she wants to stay on her own. Do you think that there's someone who will afford you an apartment in Lekki? I just asked.
Even in Yanokwaja.
I'm just asking.
Even in Yanokwaja,
where
you
would you
can't-
say, how many
I'm
of
saying-
those
I'm
areas
saying-
you are serving will afford to give you a lodge? So which
not many.
how good are some of the coppers lodge? So you see, there is this a lot of suffering within the system that I think is a clarion call for the government to come up and say, okay, this level, this must stop.
Yes.
Or let's begin to
What
work
do you
at
think will
improving
come out
this
of
and
this?
that.
What do you think will come out of this outburst?
It's for the
Is there going to be any positive solution in sight, or is just going to be? I mean, are we just going to rule over
I mean,
to the next topic?
I was coming this morning,
And
and,
on the next topic.
I think I saw like 20 years ago. I was coming this morning, and I saw a core member in his khaki and so on. And I was, is this khaki still this not well sewn, not well fashioned? Not when we have good tailors in the country that can give you good uniform.
It's always the baggy.
So I asked myself, are we still after 20 years? This thing is still like this? It's wrong. So we need to improve every system so that when you look back and you say, okay, it was worse, it's far better now. Not that you say, look back and say, it was better then. No, that's one thing I think. Nigeria has never had a better days.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Getting worse. So
It's wrong.
Nothing is likely to come out of this round or the outburst.
I don't expect nothing not to come out. I expect the government to look. We are making mistakes.
Yeah.
We've been promising them since last year, November,
Yes.
December, January, February, now March. You still have not paid them.
And you see
And
that
it's
line.
wrong.
You see that line. A hungry man is an angry man. That lady was crying. That lady was hungry. That lady was being paid 33,000.
It's wrong.
33,000 is a ridiculous amount in today's economy. Anybody who pays that is slave allowance.
So they should pay them the 7,500
for 1 month. So that, by 3,000 means 1,000. 1,000. A plate of food now is 1,500. How will you want that kind of person to survive? You want her to go into.
Remember, I said it last time. I said, what is the value of a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner nationally?
Nationally, yes.
All right, it's time for us to move on to
not what we think.
To our last topic now. And we just hope something positive is going to come out of that. I mean, I think we are agreeing in the house that there should be like a query from, wherever it's coming from, but not the threats. The right thing should be done, and then I don't know where you will live in Nigeria with 3,000 naira. I don't know. Talk less of being Lagos. I don't even can live in Oshogbo with 3,000 naira. Even in Ado.
Why do you mention Oshogbo?
No, I'm just looking at
life is easier.
Life is easier there.
Yes, in Oshogbo. Yes. Food is not as expensive as here in Lagos. In Ado, in Akure, how much more in Lagos? And I think on the island. Wow. I hope something is done about it. I'll move on to the last topic. A couple of hours ago, because I think it was hours now, it's not up to days. I think it was just yesterday. Dangote Refinery announced that there is going to be a stop they've not agreed a deal with the authorities in getting the Naira-For-Crude, crude for Naira deal. And you know what that means? That means they will either have to buy with in foreign currency in dollars, or they have to go and get more purchase from their external market. That means they'll be buying in foreign currency. The Naira-For-Crude deal, which was supposed to make life easier for Nigerians, is in limbo because the deal has not been signed. And that means one thing. That means that the thousands and the millions of Nigerians that have been going to queue in Dangote partnering fueling stations because the amount was cheaper, will perhaps have to just buy anywhere when the prices rise. And that is likely going to happen anytime soon, as long as the crude that is in the deposits of Dangote Refinery ends. If they are going to be buying a new batch, they are going to be buying a new stock. That means you have to be buying with dollars. And if you buy in dollars, you will definitely sell at the amount you are buying. That is most likely going to be increased. So the hike is likely coming. We are back. We are back. We are back in the same states that we thought we had escaped from.
Yes, I feel that collecting or receiving dollar to sell crude is not good. It's not good for the country, and I feel somewhere in the law it is illegal. Our legal tender in Nigeria is the naira. And anything the oil we are producing should be bought with naira. If they say dollar, I think it is illegal and should stop immediately. It should stop immediately because one, if I want to buy egg outside, the person will not tell me to bring dollar. It will be a kind of, in fact, police should arrest anybody that will collect dollar from me to sell goods, to give me goods. So the same thing goes with crude. Dangote and NNPC should see how they will negotiate this and come back to what it used to be. Naira-For-Crude, Naira-For-Fuel.
Reports have it that it's because the NNPC can no longer deliver on the necessary crude needed by Dangote because of the loan that we are paying with our crude. But is this true, or is it not that there is some underground dealings in a way to deal, in quotes now, with the Dangote Refinery, that all this is playing out?
I don't think so. I think we should look at it again critically, and if we're going to sell for international market, what are we going to sell in? Are we going to sell in naira or in dollar?
It will be in dollar.
So when Dangote is going to buy outside the country, is he going to buy in naira or in dollar?
Buying in dollars.
So why are we afraid if he's going to buy in dollar? Let's allow him buy. Let them sell in dollars, because NNPCL is also an international company now. It's not under government. It's deciding to deciding to make profit for himself. So, and he wants to I want to put my price at dollar. This is crude oil at the international market price level. So if you're going to do that, because the agreement between, we don't know the agreement, even if they are going to say Dangote pay in naira, is Dangote going to pay in the dollar equivalent in naira? So we need to understand very well where these companies are coming from. It's the angle of profit. It's not the angle of me, it's the angle of we want to make profit. And to make profit, if Dangote is going to buy, if I sell for Dangote and every other person within Nigeria, in Naira, and they go and take it outside and sell in dollar, they make double, triple profit. They're going to make more money. It's like when you take the crude from Nigeria, you know how much they sell petrol in Cameroon now? It's close to 800 naira.
In Niger.
In Niger. So you can imagine the big profits you're going to make for somebody you're going to be selling in Naira and is going to be selling in other currency, making big more money. So I think we should look at it critically before we begin to criticize NNPC or Dangote. Now look, make this agreement. Let's even see.
But the Naira-For-Crude deal was made to make the lives of Nigerians easier.
That's what I'm saying.
It didn't stop them from increasing prices.
But now,
please hold on. When the price of crude oil went up in the market,
in the international market,
it didn't stop them from increasing.
They increased.
So that's what I'm saying. There's more to it to this discussion. I think for us to even to double it, they need to make it open so that we can see and know where we want to sit. Because I discovered in this country a lot of times they deceive us. They tell us half truth, and we all go queue behind one person. And in the long run, like, no, we are queuing the wrong place. That is not where we're supposed to be. But for me, if NNPC want to sell in dollars, we should allow them. But
I'm saying it is against the law. Why will you sell?
No.
Our legal tender
is not
should
a local
Nigeria.
Product. This is an international product.
The people,
but there was an agreement
the
coming
people
from the
must
presidency directly to facilitate this
crude. If you get to the UK, you want to buy crude. How would you pay? You pay in their local currency. You pay in the international market price.
Yes,
everybody. So they are doing this. It's like it has an international.
But this is a local agreement.
It has an international.
No.
What is supposed to be for the
see? We are talking about Nigerians here. We are not talking about UK.
A businessman.
The product.
You are talking about a businessman in the country who also do international business.
When you say businessman, NNPC is Nigeria.
Yes.
NNPC is Nigerian business.
It's not a UK. It's not a UK organization.
Nigeria even has a
stake there. So why will NNPC even contemplate selling in foreign
international company?
That is not good to Nigeria, and that is a kind of affront to Nigerian sovereignty.
No. It's not.
That's what I feel.
It's a market.
It's wrong. When you say it's marketing this, what about the people?
What happens next week when there's a possible hike in price of PMS of petrol, and of course we know what that means. When there's hike of petrol prices, every commodity, everything.
So if it's selling, when they were buying from NNPC in Naira. Didn't they hike the price when the price went up internationally?
Yes,
they did. So what are we saying? I want us to look at it critically. I want to look at it critically like, look, it's a market system. So let the market style operate. Let them, if they're buying a dollar, Dangote is not even angry to say, for now, they don't want to sell. I'll go and buy from international market price. And I'll come and sell to you in that. Please bring it on. So also buy from us international market price. Bring it on. Let's even see what would it say the economy
are going to be the losers here.
At what rate? We don't know yet.
That's what we are saying.
At what level? We don't know yet. Everybody's crying foul.
The first function of any government is to protect the interest of the people.
The interest of the people.
So the interest of the people is not this dollar for crude.
Now,
it should be Naira-For-Crude. And why it should even be so is that the product is from our backyard. It's from our country here.
As much
so you
as
can't be talking about dollar. And two, if you use, I'm giving you an example. Yeah. If you use Cameroon money, you bring Cameroon CF francs to buy something here, it is an offense. You must go somewhere to change it to Naira.
So
why will NNPC be committing that kind of? You say it's international market. International market over our product. Our product. They didn't get this crude we are talking about now.
Yeah.
The crude we are talking about. It is within Nigeria. If they go importing, we can easily list it. But again, you can't sell products. Our legal tender here is Naira.
Our legal tender is Naira. We are dealing with international companies that are international.
I am not an international company.
Sorry, sir.
Dangote is an international company, but it's a Nigerian.
So Dangote is dealing with international firms. It's an international company. It's selling.
No, if it's selling to external,
he can change the price. He can change the currency.
In business, you don't know how he makes his profit. I don't see how NNPC makes his profit. So if NNPC is going to sell to a better company that is bringing higher price, should he?
What becomes of the Nigerian people when an increase, which is likely to happen, occurs, and then everything?
We are only saying, what if there is also? my problem in this case is that, look, we need to also work how to make the Naira stronger against the dollar. So that's why I have issues now. If we have a fair, good Naira that's against the dollar, maybe we wouldn't be saying all this.
That argument should not come. You are cutting it from the head. That argument should not come.
I'm talking about what you both say.
Yeah.
Mr. Chidi.
Can you go to UK and start saying you will spend Naira there? You will spend Naira in UK?
Are you going to
buy a product?
Are you a Dangote when you want to buy fuel in UK?
A Dangote can go to. We always spend their money there.
You
always spend foreign this. But we did.
They will not even sell for you their crude in their own Naira. You will buy in dollar equivalent. Please, I want us to understand.
Currency.
You will buy in dollar equivalent. You will buy in the international market price in dollars.
Why no? We should have bought in Naira now.
No, the reason why the agreement was signed in the first place was because the presidency said they wanted lives easier for the people.
So
that was the reason.
He's telling you that except the president again intervene. NNPC is not doing anything wrong. NNPC says to come and buy my product international market price. I want to do it.
Why the sudden reversal?
Is because the president ab initio intervened,
or is it because they are angry that Nigerians seem to be favoring the Dangote oil the more because over time?
So that is
what my colleague has said here is that one, NNPC has brazenly disobeyed the president.
NNPC did not brazenly disobey the president. It was an arrangement.
NNPC has brazenly, bizarrely.
They came to the table and I think their problem is that they have not even really agreed.
Dangote refinery said they are not responding to them.
If you look at
them, they were also not responding to the press.
So for now that we have not reached an agreement, I am going to buy internationally. So I'm going to sell internationally.
Then what becomes of the Nigerian people?
They were waiting. Because NNPC must get its own act to right. It's going to give account of the crude. The profits, we are going to look at the books too. We are going to look, are you making profits or loss? How can you be making? It's a limited company. Okay. It's no longer in the hands of the government. Okay. But again, you give account.
We have to.
And why it's going to give account, it must take the best policy in the interest of NNPC as an entity.
What about the interest of Nigerians? That's what we are saying.
The profit margin. The thing that
we own this oil together. We own the oil together, not NNPC.
We will not, because of saying we own the
oil together. It can't be.
We got here based on the fact that we thought we're always saying we own this oil together, and we're subsidizing till subsidy become a choke in the neck. So we don't want to go back to that level.
We will see where this thing will lead us to. If we apply pressure on foreign exchange market, you see where it will lead us to.
Most likely that's going to happen because
we see where it will lead us to. Because this action will worsen Nigerian economy.
We wait and see. Nigerian Naira.
Exactly.
We have to go now.
We wait to see.
I hope you've enjoyed this show as much as we have. Like we always do every Thursday here at 2 p.m. to 45 minutes of explaining or analyzing the three major topical issues that are eating up the polity and are affecting the Nigerian people. Thank you very much for being a part of this package. Thank you very much to Mr. Chukwudi Akasike for being a part of this. Thank you very much as well to Mr. Adikun Aliu. Next week, Thursday, God willing, we'll be here for the last episode of the Roundtable in the month of March, because we'll be coming back after that time. Will be in the month of April, and by then Muslim brothers and sisters as well would have rounded off their fasting season, which will be coming to an end equally very, very soon. I hope they are having a nice time. Thank you very much, because like I always say, we are here because you are them. My name is Sheikh Godwin, and this was a fantastic weekend.